see here.
I love I'm getting to the age where I have to embiggen the screen
Mm.
for text.
Background. The Smithfield trial refers to the prosecution of two animal advocates who were charged with felony theft and burglary after they removed two piglets from a Smithfield food facility in Utah. Wayne Fisher and Paul Darwin Pickle Seaman? What?
Picklesmeyer?
I
Smear?
don't know.
Simmer? Pickle simmer.
Yeah,
What the
sure.
hell, dude? You should have just gone with Darwin. Drop the pickle.
And Patrick gifted a membership, which brings us down to $41 to the next spin. Thank you so much, Patrick, for gifting a membership. Thank you. Co-founder and member of Direct Action Everywhere, respectively, or activists, blah, 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 blah. In 2017, Wayne and Paul entered the Circle 4 Farms facility in Milford, Utah, and removed two injured piglets, later named Lily and Lizzie. Circle 4 Farms is one of the largest industrial pig processing facilities in the United States and a subsidiary of Smithfield Foods, which is the world's largest pork producer. Once rescued, the piglets was provided with veterinary care and relocated to a sanctuary where they currently reside. The removal of the piglets was filmed and posted on social media under the title Operation Death Star.
Tell me you haven't been laid without telling me you've never been laid.
Well, I'm glad the piglets got a home and stuff.
Yes.
But yeah. In September 2022, Wayne and Paul went on trial in Washington County, Utah, on charges of felony theft and burglary for removing the piglets. They were acquitted by a jury on both counts. Okay.
Ooh, jury nullification, maybe. Interesting.
Probably. This trial may interest animal advocates because it provides potential guidance for future trial investigations, well, only in Utah. Additionally, this analysis provides insight to which pro-animal arguments are more persuasive more generally. Let's see here. Key findings. The not guilty verdict hinged in part on the monetary value of the piglets to Smithfield, which was argued to be less than zero. Okay. The piglets required veterinary care that exceeded their value to Smithfield. Okay. The jury was initially hesitant to say the piglets had no worth because they saw them as having inherent worth as living beings. However, they ultimately decided the theft charges hinged on monetary value only.
That's a very interesting way to look at it. That wouldn't be my initial way to look at it, but the way whoever on the defense team thought of that, the amount to rehabilitate these animals was more than what they would generally get per, I guess, unit or piglet. So that's an ingenious thought because I wouldn't have thought of that.
No, I mean, it's a really interesting approach because the veterinary cost didn't occur until after the alleged theft. So it shouldn't be a factor. But apparently, they successfully argued it. That's interesting. The jury members believed Wayne and Paul did not have the intent to steal. Before their investigation of the Smithfield facility, Wayne said on video, "If there's something, we'll take it." The jury interpreted the "if" as meaning the two activists did not enter the facility knowing they have the opportunity to take piglets. However, one juror noted that if the defendant had a pattern of doing this in the past, the jury might have been more likely to find them guilty. Interesting. The participants all reported being more receptive to animal advocacy and animal welfare after the trial. One participant reported they no longer eat ham. Another reported while they still believe that pigs are here to be eaten, as a result of the trial, they now believe that pig welfare should be improved. Another was even inspired to pursue animal activism. That's a hell of a result from a trial for the jurors.
Yeah. Well, and especially in Utah, which, I mean, I'm just going by vague generalizations, but it tends to be very conservative, very Americana
Mm,
to encourage, people that might be more conservative minded into these more sort of progressive or left-leaning ideas. Whoever their lawyer, I wish we could see a stream of this trial.
yeah.
'Cause I wanna see how they argued this because it seems like they went heavy on the emotion and it worked for them.
Mm. I Let's see here. I only see short thing. Yeah, I don't see any actual trial footage.
Hmm, dang.
Mm,
And I think it would be natural. I mean, if you saw we are very distanced from how our food is made.
mm,
So, probably seeing that reality was startling and very graphic for them. So, I
yeah.
imagine that they would feel like, I don't care that they took
Mm,
piglets that were going to be unalived.
mm. Yeah, I mean, it is. If you haven't seen it before, then yeah,
Yeah.
it is startling. Now, I grew up around farms. I am on a farm. I know how to slaughter and butcher, but I don't. I mean, so yeah. So it's not that startling to me. But if you never seen it, yeah,
Yeah.
that can be quite an interesting because what they do more or less is they there's a couple of different ways to unalive a pig. One is the bolt gun, and another one is the uh, religious way, which is slit the throat. Well, they don't do pigs anyways, but usually a bolt gun. Then they are strapped up on a conveyor belt, where they are more or less okay. They have now bled out. They are hung up, and then a large conveyor belt through a machine where head comes off and
It's
intestines go out, and
yeah,
yeah,
it's very mechanical and
mm,
clinical, and I think
yeah,
it's definitely something I watched, like, one little documentary, and I was like, "No, I'm done. I don't care where my chicken nuggets come from. I'm good."
mm, yeah, yeah. Many people really don't want to know what's in a sausage.
No.
Mm. Uh, Despite what media coverage indicates, the quote-unquote right to rescue was not a major factor in the jury's decision. Some media outlets have characterized the trial as a test case for the right to rescue argument. The idea that one should be able to rescue animals, sometimes farmed animals, from distressing conditions. However, only 2 jurors mentioned this concept at all, and no jurors mentioned this idea as critical. Uh,
Y Yeah, I don't
yeah.
think I that's a stretch. That is such a
Mm,
stretch. They got so lucky that their lawyer was able to argue eloquently that the animals were actually a loss for the company.
yeah.
Mm.
And in distress, which
Yeah, but
the,
that's so subjective.
yeah.
I mean, y some very radical, like PETA,
Mm,
will suggest that just having a pet is
mm.
putting them in distress.
Yeah, and also, in order to get into the factory, they kind of needed to enter unlawfully. So
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure.
well, I guess how does this equate to the shutdown? What was their activity there? Did they take pictures?
No,
Uh,
I mean, apparently the factory was never shut. It
oh,
affected
okay.
the jobs of because apparently whatever they filmed there was so outrageous for a general population that other retailers stopped buying from this factory and
Okay.
it closed down.
I just needed kind of the through line because I was not quite sure. But yeah, that's it. Could we just, for the love of God, humanity, could we try a happy medium? Like instead of putting 93 chickens in one cage, we have a farm. We let them run around and do chicken stuff, and then we take them off to become little nuggets. I mean, we just have such a problem with figuring out a happy medium.
Yeah, but all of this comes down to what can you afford? Because the free-range piglets and free-range chickens and free-range eggs, okay, that is a 60 to 70% cost increase.
Yeah.
And so if you are barely scraping by, you don't have the luxury of shopping ethically.
No, and not everyone, like, I'm lucky enough to, if I wanted to, I could buy a half a cow. We have plenty of farmers out here. I could basically like go pick my cow Cletus and have Cletus burgers by next week.
Yeah.
So it's so different when you live out and you see farms and you see farmers and the hard work that they do. And most people don't get to see that.
Yeah, but farmers' costs are so much higher now. And
yes,
we don't get paid more for our stuff. That's the thing.
And all the different regulations. I have watched with great interest and kind of very much enthusiasm from across the pond with the way the farmers are rising up.
Yeah. And we have an issue here in Sweden, of all places, where farmland is being covered with solar panels.
Oh.
Yeah, because nobody wants to cut down a forest to put up all of these large installations. No, they choose farmlands because it's easy. And all of a sudden you have like 20 acres of solar panels where we could grow food.
Is it showing enough, I guess, cost benefit? Is the amount of electricity worth the loss of the farming land? Because I have heard that the solar panels are not as efficient, but I'm not a solar panelologist.
No, not me either. And I mean, I've been approached and I said no because my farm is on a class 9 soil, which is the second best soil. So no, this farm now it is the farmland is leased out to the local big farmer, not pig farmer. He uses so he uses my land to.
Wasn't it rhubarb last year, or
what?
Wasn't it rhubarb last year that he planted? Or
no, we mainly have either wheat, hay, grass, which turns into hay, and one of the 4 core seeds. So that is usually what we have here. So every 4 years we grow hay because it's good for the soil.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're losing all this. We're losing the people that know how to who grow food. You can't just throw someone on land and say, grow this. You have to know all the science and what, plants work well after the next season, what replenishes the soil. And we're losing that. And it's scary.
And I always hear this, but you get subsidiaries. It would cost me more to apply for the subsidiaries than the subsidiaries in itself. So no, I do not receive subsidiaries. And but you have to be a major farmer in order for subsidiaries to even be a factor. And yeah.
But you get a ride in a tractor. That's pretty fun. The government makes all things bad. You have to worry about taxes and everything. You just want to be a farmer, ride in your tractor. And cap for everyone.
And I mean, there's so much that we could do with the farmland that we're not allowed to do anymore due to regulations. And if a neighboring farm decides, hey, I'm going this ecological farming, then I have to limit, because they can use all their land, but they need like a 15-yard stretch between mine and theirs so their choice of doing eco farming makes my land smaller.
Yeah, it's the kind of, again, we're working with regulations made by people who never worked the land. So they have no idea. It's like when everyone had to work that crappy retail job where corporate would come out and say, you need to use only one bag, but the bags are crappy, so you always double bag. And corporate's like, if you double bag, it will be charged out of your account. So then you get yelled at by the customers, you get yelled at by your manager, and then you still double bag because nothing works.
Yeah. I don't like government because every time they try to make something better, it just gets worse.
It really does. They try so hard to do so little. Really should have gotten a government job. I can talk a lot and I get a whole lot of not a whole lot done. So I am a perfect politician. Except
Definitely.
I'm honest.
Definitely. Now
Hey, do you want to hear my slogan for 2028? Because I will be running again with Bigfoot. It's called This Ain't Geneva. Basically, we are going shock shackles for Daryl Brooks, activated by chat. We are going ISO cubes with glitter bombs. I will solve the deficit by making it so you can just shit post to your favorite, felon.
Make USA Mo again.
Pretty much. Like Geneva, you had a great convention, but this ain't Geneva.
Muma. Make USA Mo again. Muma. The Muma movement.
Yes. We'll figure it out. We've got